In other Washington news, Congress voting to roll back some Dodd-Frank banking regulations. The legislation eases restrictions on many smaller and mid-sized banks. Joining us now, Senator Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota, a member of the Banking Committee who for quite a while has been in the corner of small banks and small to medium-sized banks. And I didn't realize you grew up in a town of 100 people. Is that, did you even have a bank? Did you?
Joe, it was 90 people.
90?
And my family was 1/10 the population.
There's no bank there, was there?
No, but there used to be back in the olden days. But we banked at Lincoln State Bank in Hagerson, North Dakota. Still there, still serving its community, still trying to do the right thing to make sure that we get mortgage lending in small banks. And so it's an exciting day. When the president signs this, we put community banks back in the mortgage lending business, which is really exciting for me.
And it's been something, as I said, that you've been, advocating for years now, and it's finally happening. Who voted against this? There were still some people that didn't want to do it, right? They just think it's going to cause another 2008. Is that the argument?
I think that's part of it. They also thought that it went too far. It wasn't the community banking provisions. It was the provisions for the regional banks, the mid-sized banks. We raised the presumption from 50 to 250. We did that, and I'll be honest. When you look at growth in banking, the growth in banking has been all in the largest banks. And my argument is too big to fail has failed. It's become too small to succeed. Let's get some competition out there. That competition is going to come from our regional bankers, and we're hoping that they will now secure some additional deposits and pressure the big banks and basically do what Dodd-Frank was supposed to do, which is prevent too big to fail.
Yeah, guys like Jeb Hensarling didn't get everything they wanted. I guess they thought it didn't go far enough. But you're satisfied? You think it's just not too hot, not too cold? It's just right?
Well, it's what we could do. There's provisions that Chairman Hensarling would want to advance that I could agree on. I don't think they would have tanked this bill back when it came back to the Senate, and that was a real challenge. And I think the point is that we take what you can get, run to the daylight, and declare victory on this piece of it for our small community banks, for our regional banks, and then start talking about some larger issues. The thing we should be turning to is housing finance reform. You just had a segment on what's happening in housing right now. I will tell you, affordable housing is slipping through our fingers. We see home ownership, becoming elusive for especially younger generation. We need to fix those problems. We need to talk about affordable housing as part of our workforce development.
All politics are local. We've heard that. So I'm just wondering if you give me a straight answer here. Is $80 a barrel oil a good thing?
It's certainly good for North Dakota, and I think that it will help drive domestic production, which I think is a great stabilizer. If we didn't have domestic production, and if we didn't have the good work that I and several others here did in opening up oil exports, I think we'd see prices, international prices, much higher. I think we would see shortages drive those prices up. And so anything that encourages the growth of our domestic drilling industry is good for North Dakota, but I think ultimately good for the country when we're looking at energy security.
All right, I don't want to make you uncomfortable,
Yeah, right.
We go way back. So Trump won North Dakota by like 36 points.
He
did. And now you got this guy Kramer. We got our own Kramer here, but you got this guy Kramer that you're facing. Is it beyond you to wear a "Make America Great Again" hat? Could we ever see you do that? How close do you need to get to Trump to win re-election this year?
The group that I need to get closest to is North Dakotans. And one of the things I will tell you I've been very aggressive on is trade, and I know that you guys have been too. This has been difficult. We're a large equipment manufacturer. The aluminum and steel tariffs have hit us hard. The disruption and potential disruption in soybeans, ethanol, these are all big factors for North Dakota. And so, I'm not going to agree with the president time on things like this bank deregulation. We can work together. It's great. And so at the end of the day, my allegiance and my obligation is to the people of North Dakota, Joe.
But Senator, most Democrats, depending on where you are, they don't agree with him on anything. Zero. So just you saying that you won't agree with him on everything, you might have just doomed your chances right there. They even acknowledge you might agree with him on, whether the sun's going to come up tomorrow. Anyway.
She said she cares about North Dakota.
I know.
The people of North Dakota.
Who's in North Dakota? Sully. So there's something happening. Brian Sullivan is there right now in the Bakken, which is...
And he's lucky because it's a great and beautiful place. Tell him to go north to the Canadian border and see some of the most beautiful land in America.
You betcha.
Okay.
That's the one. That's right.
State.
Okay. 90 people. That is, everybody knew everybody else, didn't it?
No, she was.
Oh, yeah. We were all related, for
10%
goodness sakes.
of the population.
Sure, all related. Hopefully you went elsewhere to find a husband. Anyway, thank you, Senator.
He's from Eldridge.
He is? Okay. Not before enough. Anyway.